How's it going, folks? It's Gray 1951, and I'm back for round two of the Barnes& and Noble half-price Criterion Collection sale, which I didn't intend to go back to quite this soon, but I just couldn't keep away. So I went last week, bought five or six things. Went back the other day, and I bought five more. So we'll see if this will be the end of it. I really don't know. Okay, so let me show you what I picked up. The first one is Nashville from 1975, Robert Altman. This is a movie I saw when it first came out. Absolutely loved it, and I don't think I've seen it uh, to completion in all these years since. I mean, I think I've seen parts of it here and there, but I really wanted to see this again. Great story, lots of big stars. It's got people like Henry Gibson, if you remember the old Laugh-In show from the 1970s or 60s, I should say. Henry Gibson, Lily Tomlin, Ronnie Blakely, Keith Carradine, Geraldine Chaplin, Barbara Harris, Karen Black. It also has Michael Murphy, Shelley Duvall, Keenan Wynn, Ned Beatty. Wow, I'm trying to think of who else is in it. Has a couple of cameos by big stars that just kind of walk through, like Elliot Gould and Julie Christie. It's kind of fun. And also some authentic musicians from the Nashville scene, like Vassar Clements, people that at the time I didn't know who they were. Um, it's a great movie. It's very much. I guess it was done as a commentary on that particular area of American culture, trying to show the shallowness and the emptiness of the people who were involved in the country music scene. And at the time, I was very young, and I actually, felt the same way as the filmmaker. And now that I watched about maybe two-thirds of it last night, I had to go to bed and I couldn't finish it, but I found myself thinking, this look at American culture of the country music scene back in the 70s isn't nearly as hideous and ugly as American culture in most areas today. So this is actually kind of a pleasure. And I've changed my opinion about some of the music. Back then, I didn't really like any kind of country music or bluegrass, and now I love bluegrass. So when they start firing up some of the bluegrass in this, I'm really having a great time. Anyway, this is a combination Blu-ray and DVD set, so got all kinds of possibilities and extra features. Great artwork, right? And also this nice booklet, essays, all kinds of commentaries, documentaries, really cool stuff, interviews. So that'll be fun to get into that and study it. Next up is a Charlie Chaplin silent film, City Lights from 1931. Never seen it. And a lot of my friends on YouTube, specifically Forkerball and DVD Collector 1974, they know a lot about silent movies and a lot about Chaplin. So I'm just kind of beginning. I've only seen a couple of his things. And well, two. I've only seen two: Modern Times and The Great Dictator. So this will be the beginning of a new experience with Charlie Chaplin. So that'll be very good to get started. Just dropped Charlie on the computer. Sorry. Next up is a film that I've never heard anybody talk about. It seems to be rather obscure, and I've never seen it. It's called The Friends of Eddie Coyle from 1973, starring Robert Mitchum and directed by Peter Yates. Now, I bought this mainly because I'm a big fan of Robert Mitchum, and this is kind of latter-day Mitchum. But it's supposed to be about, let's see, forgive my goofy glasses. My regular glasses broke, and I had to dig these out of a drawer, and they're really goofy looking, and they don't work very well either. It has to do with Robert Mitchum plays a small-time crook down on his luck who gets even further involved in the kind of seedy underworld of Boston, organized crime and all this sort of thing. And there's a great quote at the end of this description. It says, directed with a sharp eye for its gritty locales and an open heart for its less than heroic characters. This is one of the true treasures of 1970s Hollywood filmmaking. A suspenseful crime drama in stark, unforgiving daylight. Okay? It's kind of a cool description. So a crime thriller that takes place in daylight. That's kind of unusual. So I'll be anxious to get into that. The next up is a French film called The Wages of Fear. Came out of 1955, directed by Henri Georges Clouzot, who I believe is the same guy who directed Diabolique. Now, this is about, I'll read the description here. In a squalid South American oil town, four desperate men sign on for a suicide mission to drive trucks loaded with nitroglycerin over a treacherous mountain route as they ferry their explosive cargo to a faraway oil fire. The idea is they're going to bomb this area so they can put out the fire. I don't get that for 1 second. But each bump and jolt tests their courage, their friendship, and their nerves. Okay, the result is one of the greatest thrillers ever committed to celluloid. Now, the reason why I bought this, um, when I took one of my film classes about a year ago, the one of the films that the instructor showed us is an American film from 1977 called Sorcerer, directed by William Friedkin. It was one of the best, most exciting, edge of your seat thrillers I've ever seen in my life. The first half of it was actually kind of dull. I wasn't that interested in the characters and all that, but during the second half of the film, when it's a remake of The Wages of Fear. These guys were driving this truck loaded with nitro through the mountains and over this unbelievably treacherous bridge. It was one of the most exciting pieces of filmmaking I've ever seen. And the instructor was telling us that this is almost as good, and this is one of the things that got him excited about filmmaking when he first saw it. So I thought I would pick this up and try it out for myself. Okay, is it in color or black and white? That's a very good question. I think it's in black and white. Yep, it's in black and white. Sorcerer was in color. And the final film, I picked up Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard. Okay, and I actually have a copy of Breathless that I bought a couple of years ago. This was very inexpensive, and I'd never seen the film before, so I thought I'll just buy this. It was only, I think it was less than $10. Now, the interesting thing is that even though this is a DVD Blu-ray combination with lots of extra features, okay, a terrific booklet, very thick, all kinds of information in that booklet. It does not have an audio commentary, but this inexpensive one does. It has a commentary by film historian David Starrett. So I'm going to definitely keep this just to get the commentary and enjoy the rest of the features on this and be able to see it in Blu-ray. So, okay, all right, Breathless. Or do you say à bout de souffle? Anyway, all right, so that's my little Criterion update. And let's see if I go back a third time. I have a feeling I won't be able to help myself, but okay, thanks for watching, and all comments are welcome.